Hey everyone, welcome to Malleus Gaming. I'm your host Malleus, and operations have gotten a bit more dicey with recent updates, so I'm here to impart some wisdom from the hallowed Codex Astartes, and help you, my battle brothers, to bring vengeance down upon the foes of the Emperor. I've got 10 tips to help you improve your gameplay and aid your brothers on the field. Always remember, you can be a Titus, or you can be a Leandros. I think we all know what to go for. For the Emperor! Whenever you see an enemy that is stunned and vulnerable for an execution, I'm sure for many of us our instinct is to go for it immediately. This isn't unwarranted, as doing so will eliminate a dangerous target and provide a point of armor for protection. However, try and be mindful if your nearby injured teammate could use that armor instead, especially if your own health is doing fine. Execution stealing can mean the difference between a healthy or downed teammate. Don't be afraid to fall back from large engagements if you feel like your team can't quite handle it. This could be for a multitude of reasons, perhaps you're all injured, or running low on ammo. Alternatively, by pulling back you can spread the enemy horde out a bit before engaging them piecemeal, rather than all at once. Falling back behind cover will keep any enemy ranged units from firing at you, while the melee troops will pursue, letting you clean those up first. This is fairly similar to tip number 1, but I cannot even begin to count the number of times I've seen someone with full health grab a Medicae pack over someone who has barely any. I get the urge to keep your health topped up, but be mindful of your teammates if they need it more. You should always prioritize Medicae to others given certain situations. Are they a frontline fighter who will be in the thick of it? Does someone have a mortal wound that can be healed? Is someone else carrying the gene seed? Take care of your battle brothers, and they'll take care of you. Gunstrikes are a great way to quickly do significant damage to enemy elites, and restore some armor when used against vulnerable Minoris targets. Many class perks provide buffs upon performing a gunstrike as well. However, something to keep in mind is that you are vulnerable to damage during the gunstrike animation, and so you shouldn't always try to do it when you are in the middle of a huge horde of enemies. I know I am certainly guilty of that myself. If you're using it to keep your armor up, that's generally fine, but be careful if an elite enemy charges up a heavy attack and knocks you to the ground so its buddies can pounce on you. When you're playing with your friends, communication is generally less of an issue, and I totally understand not wanting to voice chat with randoms every game, but for the strong, silent types, make sure to use the marking system to communicate with your teammates. You can mark items for them to pick up, ping a location you want to check out, highlight an incoming enemy attack, and even indicate which teammate you think should take the Medicae that everyone's being too polite to pick up. All it takes is a quick push of a button to help out your team. This applies in 2 different ways. The first, and most obvious one, is to make sure you don't stay put in one place for too long. The game director will often punish you should your team stay idle in a single area by sending in further waves of enemies, and so it's best to take a quick scan of the area for pickups and keep advancing with your team. The other aspect of this tip applies to when you're in combat with a horde of enemies. Your foes will do their best to surround you, so make sure you don't stay fighting in one spot. Try to maneuver to keep as many enemies in front of you as you can. This should help keep fewer enemies from attacking you at once, and allow you to better read incoming attacks for further dodging or parrying. Timing your parry properly is extremely important, and can easily be the difference between a no-hit engagement or getting folded by a warrior. Keep an eye on your enemy's movements and try to only parry when their attacks are about to hit. Hitting the button too early or too late can lead to damage being taken, and potentially getting stun-locked yourself. Spamming the parry button will have your Astartes desperately swinging away, but the enemies adapt based on your actions, so they may start waiting for your defensive maneuvers to seize before going back into the attack. With that said, a decent fencing weapon can make all the difference in a fight, and the slightly lower stats they have are well worth the advantages that better parrying provides. A key thing to keep in mind is that the mission objective does not require you to purge every single enemy on the map. And while you may feel the need to do so, your allies may not. Stay mindful of where your teammates are and what they are doing. If they're trying to advance forward, don't lag behind picking off every random gaunt on the field. On the other hand, if your teammate is desperately pinging for help as he fights off a swarm, don't abandon him to be devoured. There'll be fights ahead where you'll need all hands on deck, and you won't always be able to avoid them. Don't be afraid to change up your tactics if you find that you're hitting a wall. Is there a point in a mission where you aren't able to overcome a number of Majoris targets? Or are you having trouble with swarms? Take a look at different perks that can increase your damage against certain enemies, or soften up your targets with some ranged attacks before charging into the melee. Keep an eye out for anything in the environment that you can take advantage of, such as explosive crates or choke points. Each weapon available in the armory is unique, and has its own strengths and weaknesses. The combat knife is unmatched in speed, while the Thunderhammer has devastating power, but is very slow to swing. You can spend time in the trials for each class experimenting with the different weapons and getting a proper feel for them. For instance, the Heavy Plasma Incinerator has some significant drop on its lobbed projectiles, but with some training, you should be able to adjust for the trajectories. Each melee weapon has a series of combos as well, and learning those will let you cut through the hordes of enemies far more easily. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope this advice will be able to assist you in your operations and help you work as a shining example for your teammates. If you have any other tips you'd like to share when running missions, please let me know in the comments, as I'd love to hear about your own experiences. If you enjoyed the video, then please leave a like, comment, share, and enable notifications to help the channel make it through the shadow and the warp that is YouTube. I hope you all have a great day, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!